Hello, everyone. This is the Civil Series Unearthed session for IAS toppers for the year 2020. And we have got All India rank 16 in the Earth Gen. And we'll be taking out or carrying out this discussion with Earth Gen regarding his entire journey for UPSC preparation. He is from a very prestigious institution, that is IIT Delhi. And he has cleared this exam in just second attempt, and he scored the two-digit rank, and he'll be getting IAS services in his second attempt. And this is the first selection in his entire attempts which he has given. So let's start a discussion with Archan to find out what insights he has gathered and how one can take inputs from his experiential journey of this preparation. So hello Arth, how are you doing?
Morning, sir. Sir, I'm fine.
Good. So Arth, as we know that the this particular examination holds a lot of value in everybody's life who are like sincerely willing to join the services. So there are so many reasons for the people to join it, but when your hard work turns into the real positive result, so what is the change which you have observed after seeing your name in the PDF?
So the result came on 24th September, and I think I've been extremely happy seeing my name there. In fact, everyone in my family has been so happy, especially my parents, and that has made me happier. So it has been like a dream come true, the culmination of a 4-year journey. So it's something that is indescribable in words. And the feeling, as I tell people, is yet to completely sink in.
Very true, because I think the bigger the experience or the bigger the reward you get, it is always hard to get sink in. You mentioned
Yes.
about the journey. So I would like to ask you a question. How has been your journey, like from your childhood till you have prepared for this examination and ultimately you have got into this role?
So if I talk about my childhood, most of my childhood was spent in Delhi. I spent almost 16, 17 years in Delhi, although I'm originally from Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh. My father is himself an IPS officer, because of which we were transferred. And he was also one of the reasons through whom I got this inspiration for the exam. When I went to IIT in second year of college, I made this decision to start preparing for civil services. So over my summer vacations of second year, I explored what this exam is about. I tried to get a feel of this exam, that what lies ahead. How do we prepare for this exam? So I used to watch a lot of topper videos then, and I would understand कि कितना पढ़ना है, क्या क्या करना है इस exam के लिए. And in third year, I started my preparation. So 2 years, there was a lot of time crunch because college itself was quite heavy. And I gave my first attempt in 2019. I could not clear the prelims. And I often tell people that that is one of the single best things that has happened to me in this entire preparation journey, not clearing that prelims, a blessing in disguise. After that, more or less, sir, I followed the cycle. So 2020 prelims. So first I prepared for mains, then I prepared for prelims. After clearing prelims, I had a very safe score. So I started preparing for mains, and more or less then interview and until the final results.
All right. So like it's been a long journey, and we know that
Definitely.
somewhere like something has to like sown as a seed, which turns into a full plant. And during your IIT or maybe your graduation, so in the second year, you have started to thinking about this paper. So is it like to start early is better to reach to the goal? So it is what you want to say, because most of the people who are just entering into graduation or they're completing their graduation, they are usually confused what they have to do, what they have to decide as their career option. So how do you find this career option as civil services? Like why it is important for you?
Sir, about the decision to start early, I would say that if someone has made up their mind, because civil services, you asked me the reason, so it's a very prestigious career in India, and there is no doubt about it. So if someone has decided that they want to go into this career, into this line, then an earlier start is naturally better, because we get a lot of time to prepare, we get a lot of time to study. And what happens is, also another reason is that if you after we complete our college and if we get a job, then to come back into that whole studying mode, that studying 10 hours, 11 hours a day mode, that also becomes difficult. So if someone has made up their mind that they definitely want to do civil services, I would always recommend you can start early. Just don't lose your motivation very early on. Don't lose your energy, because sometimes that also happens that people burn out very fast.
Brilliant. Because see, you are just 24 and you have cleared this paper. So there
Correct.
lies a long journey where you can start from here. It will be a new life that is you will be professionally working as a civil servant and doing a lot for the society and the nation in general. So whatever you do or whatever promotions you get, so you will be reaching to the highest ladder in the civil services itself. So this is what I believe, that one, if they have the clarity, then they should start as early as possibly they can, right?
Definitely,
So
sir.
the next idea which I want to add here is that uh, the journey has so many challenges with to overcome. So what are those challenges which you have faced in your preparation?
So first, I would say the immediate challenge, because I think I might be talking to a lot of people who are just beginning their preparation, is that feeling of being lost in the initial stages. Sir, UPSC seems like a maze. You do not know the way out. The syllabus is so vast. There are so many subjects. Because let's say अगर इससे पहले जैसे जेई के लिए प्रिपेयर किया है, तो बहुत स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड था कि फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री मैथ्स पढ़ना है, बुक्स भी मोर और लेस सबको पता रहती थी. यहाँ पे यू हैव टू स्टडी हिस्ट्री, ज्योग्राफी, पॉलिटी, यू हैव एन ऑप्शनल, you have an essay, you have an ethics paper, so much to do, so many sources. Because जो हो जाता है with too many sources, it only adds to the confusion. So many coachings. So in the initial stages, that feeling of being lost is very common, and I think that is the biggest challenge, that lack of clarity. And that lack of clarity often creates a lot of anxiety. Then sir, there are challenges like time management, because yeah, this is common to every new aspirant, that how do you manage time, especially if you have a time crunch, because either you're in college or you're a working aspirant. So how do you manage your time in the best possible fashion? Third, sir, a challenge I think personal to me or personal to a lot of people is prelims as a roadblock, because nowadays we are seeing that a lot of people are not able to clear prelims, but once they clear prelims, they're able to get a rank directly. So prelims is proving to be a bigger roadblock than mains. And I think I learned this the hard way in 2019 prelims. So that was a challenge, that how do I revamp my strategy in a way that now I'm able to clear the exam. So I would say that was also an important challenge.
Okay, brilliant. And see, challenges and to overcome them is the intrinsic part of this paper. And right from the essay till your optional paper, anything which you find acted as the major hurdle in your preparation.
Sir, I think it was the act of balancing across the papers which was the major hurdle, not one paper per se. Because, for example, we know what to do in essay, we know what to do in ethics, we know what to do in GS 1, 2, 3, as well as what to do in maths. But how much time to give to each paper, that becomes the biggest challenge. So someone will come and tell you that, look, GS में तो एक point के beyond marks नहीं बढ़ने, तो इतना time क्यों लगा रहे हो? But then same may apply to maths for me, that कि मैथ्स इतना पढ़ लिया है कि अब इसके ऊपर टाइम इन्वेस्ट करने से वो इंक्रीज नहीं दिख रहा है मार्क्स में. सो रिटर्न ऑन मार्क्स, सो दैट डेलिकेट बैलेंस, दैट इज द most challenging part. And I think that because I would also want to share my experience, ki how do you achieve that balance? I think that comes with practice, and that comes with through trial and error. So, kisi then we spend more time on GS, and then that week you give a test of GS as well as you give test of maths optional. So then you realize कि maths optional में वो confidence नहीं आ रहा है, लेकिन GS में आ रहा है. So maybe it's time to spend more time with maths and less with GS. 3 weeks later, maybe it's the opposite situation. So it's a dynamic process, continuously changing, sir.
Okay. So it's like depends as you move or as you progress along the preparation stage. So challenges or the difficulty depends upon your investment. What I believe in throughout my experience and in the field of coaching as well as my own experience with this examination, the more you invest yourself into something, the more that thing becomes dearer to you.
Definitely.
So yeah, initially what happened, I was afraid of the subject economy because I was also from the science background.
Mhm.
But what happened? I just tried to spend more time on economy, and I realized I was easy and I was able to comprehend economy as well in the perfect manner. So I think it is like the same way what you're trying to tell me, that how these things work and how one thing which are like difficult at one point of time may become easy at another point of time. So next is the idea of time management in this UPS entire preparation. So with respect to time management, I have two particular sets of questions, like two questions, like One thing is that how you are able to manage your time during your day in the preparation. Another thing is that how you're going to manage your time when you are particularly sitting in the exam hall and writing your papers.
So about time management, first I would like to address time management in general and your first part. So time management, I think it takes a lot of time to learn, because even I'll admit that I was not so good at time management in the initial stages, and it took almost 2 years to fine tune and finally achieve a decent time management strategy. So there are two aspects. One is your quantity of studying, and second is your quality of studying. Because quantity means कि आप कितने घंटे पढ़ रहे हो. A lot of people will say कि full focus, 100% focus से अगर आप 4 घंटे भी पढ़ो तो काफी है. मतलब I personally think that even the quantity has to be high enough. So 8-10 घंटे तो पढ़ना ही है, and उन 8-10 घंटे में you have to be 100% focused. Second, sir, more important is the quality of studying. That let's say you're sitting for 2 hours at the study table. So are you distracted or are you completely focused? So कई लोगों की tendency, जैसे मेरी भी starting में tendency थी कि बार बार WhatsApp खोल रहे हैं, Telegram खोल रहे हैं. So that is not the ideal way to study. So उसके लिए one practical solution which I found is installing blockers on laptop as well as mobile. आजकल free apps आते हैं which can block any of those apps, distraction apps. The second idea is कि you sit at the place which is the least distracting. So अगर आप window side पे बैठ रहे हैं library में, so you're more likely to get distracted than if you're sitting facing a blank wall. So over this, when you apply these strategies, your time management gets refined and refined. Your quantity of hours improves, your quality improves. So quantity में there is another thing. I used to use this app called Forest. So I had a target कि महीने का 300 घंटे लगभग, which translates to 10 hours on an average per day. So this is based on the idea that if you want to improve something, you need to measure it. So once I was able to measure my study hours, it became easy to improve that. So then I would find out every 20 minute slot which I was wasting, and I would eliminate that. So it took time, sir. It took almost 3 months to reach that 300 hours target. Initially it started with as little as 200 hours. So it's not like कि पहली बार try किया and पहली बार ही सही किया. And so the final aspect of time management is that your return on time investment, which some people say कि जो चीज पढ़ रहे हो क्या सही पढ़ रहे हो क्या. Let's say आप 10 घंटे पढ़ भी रहे हो, आप फुल फोकस से पढ़ रहे हो, बट अगर आप एक 500 पेज की ऐसी किताब पढ़ रहे हो जिससे आपको सिर्फ 10 पॉइंट मिलने वाले हैं, सो इज इट वर्थ इट. सो यू हैव टू टेक अ कॉन्शियस डिसीजन कि शुड यू बी इन्वेस्टिंग लेट्स से 3 days in reading a 500 page book when you can extract the same content by reading a 10-page summary. So 2-3 things ultimately matter: your quantity of studying, your quality of distraction free studying, and your return on time investment. I think this is the essence of time management which I have developed over the last 3-4 years.
I think these are like, well put practical experience. Most of the people
Yes, sir.
want to convey the same. This exam cannot be cracked just simply by studying for 3 hours or 4 hours a day.
Definitely.
If you're going to do that, the journey has to go along. So it will be like multiple attempts before you crack the paper. Besides that, you need to have clarity what you're doing, like the rate of return kind of thing which Arth has shared here, because the paper has a demand. It is not a simple paper where you just write and get qualifying marks and you're qualified through the paper. It is a cutthroat competition where other person sitting next to you may be doing, as like double of what you are actually doing at this point of time. So it is a competition, but yes, everything has a limit. So let's not think in overdoing the things.
Definitely.
20 घंटे नहीं पढ़ सकते क्योंकि
extremes sir should be avoided, sir. I think
exactly.
In fact, the whole essence of UPSC preparation is its sustainability. So a lot of people, I see what they do is that exam, when it's very far, they'll study 6-7 hours. And when it's very close, they'll study 13-14 hours. So I do not agree with that. I think that it should more be like 10-11 hours or 10 to 12 hours across the year. So that आपका learning जो है पूरे साल हो रहा है and you're building your knowledge across the year. Also, sir, I think I forgot to answer the second part of the question, which is time management during exam. So, sir, I think this is more of a challenge in mains and less in prelims. So in mains, the practical aspects were, one is that when we practice answer writing at home, we use stricter time control. So for example, I used to practice 10 markers in 5.5 to 6 minutes, 6 minutes, 15 seconds, and 15 markers in 9.5 to 10.5 minutes. Of course, sir, वो exam के close I had readjusted my bio clock. Otherwise, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि आपका पेपर 20 मिनट पहले खत्म हो जा रहा है. but the idea is that intense practice. Second is, sir, we pre-plan the way in which we'll attempt the paper. So my order was question 1 to 5, then 11 to 15, 6 to 10, and 16 to 20. My logic was that 1 to 5 and 11 to 15 are of similar themes, and 6 to 10 and 16 to 20 in GS 1 to 3 are of similar themes. Similarly, sir, just optional में I had decided question 1, 5, then section A से एक, section B से एक, and then the fifth question. So इससे क्या था कि एक more or less एक fixed pattern था question attempting का. So I was able to achieve a smoothness in my attempt of papers.
Okay, so coming to time management, so main he like it is not the only paper where you need to manage the time. Pre maybe people find it difficult to complete the paper. Even in the first reading, when they like sometimes what happens, people get lost into the reading of the
Yes,
question.
yes,
So
sir.
they start reading in between the lines and time is lost. They hardly are able to read 80 questions or 90 questions. So in prelims, how you're supposed to manage time? Any idea? Anything which you want to share here?
I would say, sir, that when we are practicing, because my strategy has been based around tests, and more tests. In fact, if someone asked me my prelim strategy for 2020 prelims, I gave almost more than 200 tests, which some may even say is not advisable. So, what happened was across this test giving, the time of giving test came down drastically. So it had come down to almost 40 minutes for giving the whole test. But still, for people who are beginning new, I would say that have a hard deadline of maximum 80 minutes and add plus 15 minutes for OMR. Do not practice with 2 hours at home because the actual day prelims is always trickier than the test series paper. So you have to practice it with stricter time control. So basically, it's the same idea for mains that घर पर जो practice कर रहे हैं that should be more intense so that final day examination hall में वो pain feel ना हो.
Okay, so it will be better to summarize this way that practice hard, ताकि exam hall में you have some leverage at your hand. Another thing which you mentioned when you talked about the time management at your practice, like preparation, you mentioned about sustainability. I'm like thinking to link this sustainability with consistency and how you were able to consistently study during your entire preparation. Just mention a few pointers if you can. That will be helpful for other aspirants.
So I'll talk as practically as possible because a lot of people say that motivation this, motivation that, and I feel that motivation is a very short-lived phenomena because motivation cannot take you across 3 years. Motivation has its own bursts and ups and downs. So my practical aspect was that since I used to measure my number of study hours, and I had a mildly sacrosanct target in my mind that वो 300 घंटे महीने के करने हैं. So I would calculate almost every 2-3 days where I stand. So let's say today is 6th November, but had it been 16th November, and my timer shows that I have already done 170 hours this month. So I know that अगर आज पढ़ने का मन नहीं भी कर रहा है, and if I do not study, I will not feel guilty about it because I'm already ahead of my target. So the practical aspect is that you monitor yourself continuously and you take the appropriate action. So if you're lagging behind, let's say hypothetically it's 16th November and I have done only 155 hours. So that means कि अब मुझे हर एक दिन 1 घंटा एक्स्ट्रा करना ही है, and there is no other way about it because मेरे mind में that 300-hour target is very very strict. So that is the practical aspect of it. The second practical aspect of it is that there are periods of high inertia and low inertia. And similarly, there are subjects which you like doing and which you do not like doing. So when you are in a period of high inertia, जैसे कि एक दिन आप सुबह उठते हो और पढ़ने का बिल्कुल ही मन नहीं कर रहा है, तो on that day you do what you like doing the most. So let's say for someone it might be कि maths का easiest chapter or reading some magazine like Yojana or Down to Earth. So you do that, and on days when you are extremely motivated, you do the toughest topic. So I think these are the two practical aspects of consistency and sustainability, which I found.
All right, well put. And the idea here is that what I can construe from your time management and this part, that there has to have a process in your preparation, and this process will be like won't be like similar for everybody. It won't be similar for everyone. It will be your unique process which you will develop over a period of time. Like you said, मैंने 300 घंटे पर मंथ के हिसाब से डिसाइड किया था, and you fix it in your mind. कुछ का ऐसा हो सकता है दे कैन फिक्स कि वीकली मेरा टारगेट क्या होगा,
Definitely,
अकॉर्डिंग
sir.
टू दैट दे कैन मैनेज. इसमें यू हैव मेंशन अनदर थिंग कि वी कैन हैव अ ब्रेक इफ यू आर डूइंग वेल जब जरूरत पड़ी, बिकॉज नॉट एवरी सिंगल डे इज एज रोजी एज इट मे सीम. बात करते हुए लगता है ना कि 30 दिन लगातार पढ़ लेंगे, 365 दिन पढ़ लेंगे, बट इट मे नॉट हैपन. तो यू हैड दिस क्लैरिटी कि अगर मेरा काम सही से चल रहा है तो इफ लाइक देयर आर सम बैड डेज तो उसमें जो बेसिक मिनिमम है पढ़ने के लिए वो हम कर सके. तो
In fact,
प्रोसेस.
sir, in fact, there are many bad days. मतलब प्रोसेस को कई बार ऐसा दिखाया जाता है जैसे कि जो selected candidates हैं, they do not have bad days at all. But the reality is that selected candidates, at least I can speak for myself, is that I had too many of bad days, and which is why this timer became all the more important for me. Because if I did not have a benchmark in my mind, where do I stand? So I would end up feeling guilty of wasting a day. But because of this, I always had something in mind that I'm ahead of my target. So अगर आज नहीं भी पढ़ने का मन कर रहा है तो आज चलेगा, आज हाफ डे कर लेंगे, आज 3/4 डे कर लेंगे, या आज इवन 1/4 डे अगर बहुत ही आगे हैं टारगेट के. तो द नंबर ऑफ बैड डेज इज एक्चुअली अ लॉट.
Maybe directly or indirectly you are using the psychological trick to make yourself work in a consistent and sustainable manner. Brilliant.
Yes.
And other thing which I would like to ask here is that self-study is like irreplaceable. You cannot replace it. Coaching is another thing, and other thing is the guidance. Like these are three things which I'm like not putting into like in the same bracket, but these are the three options available to all. One is the self-study, other one is the coaching where you just simply rely upon something else. You go and consume things. Another thing is the guidance. And if you are able to share, like according to your experience, what has helped and how they have helped you, that will be another, big help for other people.
So my interpretation of coaching is basically like showing someone the way. So for example, if someone tells you what is the direction to a particular place, that is the role of a coaching or a mentor, that they are showing you the direction. Self study is you actually walking on that path, you actually taking or traveling in that direction. That is what self study is. Because sir, in a coaching, the same teacher teaches a batch of almost, let's say, 300 people and tells them the exact same things, the exact same books, but it comes down to an individual how much they extract from it and how much they put in their own effort to travel in that direction, to build up on that knowledge basically. So I feel that coaching and mentors are important to the extent that they show you the correct direction so that you do not take the wrong direction, and your self study is what actually makes you put in the effort in that direction.
Okay, so here I would like to add one thing, because Civil Silly is known for its mentorship related guidance. So what is our approach in general is, let the student move and based upon students motion, we can have discussion and we can find the process or the path which would work to individual student. So it will be a customized individual student based process that student can develop. So I think you have well said here that guidance is important, but the self study is something which will be like essential in the entire process. And I hope like mentorship or the mentors who are available, they can guide further aspirants to achieve their goal the way like you have achieved yours. And I think your optional related preparation, were you able to like utilize any coaching for optional, or it was just self-study based and you took some test series or any other kind of help?
Sir, with options like maths, the main idea is practice, because maths is all about practice, and more practice. Still, sir, I took classroom coaching for almost 3 months. I took at IMS classes. After that, sir, it was not possible with college to continue classes, so I relied on self-study. With maths, fortunately, the IMS material is extremely good, so self-study can be done for optional. And again, sir, the maths, it comes down to solving more and more problems, whether we use test series for that PYQs or we use the traditional books like Krishna series, Shom series. So it's all about practice in maths.
Okay, so like you here also you have used both the coaching as
Yes,
well
sir.
as well as the your self-study like it's irreplaceable.
Yes, sir.
And another thing I would like to ask you that there are so many online platforms available, so many books and sources are there. Every topper has their own list. They have list of books, notes, etc. In fact, they do also have their notes, handwritten notes.
Yes, sir.
And now when somebody new enters into the field of preparation, they just they are caught off guard and they feel like so much of information is there, and even during the preparation, when you know that you have matured in this preparation, at several points you find कि मुझे ये भी कर लेना चाहिए, ये भी कर लेना चाहिए. So this fear of missing out, how you are supposed to handle this, and how you have handled it.
So the first thing is, which you correctly pointed out, is that even senior aspirants, they can't correctly identify where to stop, where to draw the line in terms of material. So I think it comes with spending more time in preparation. You slowly begin to realize, you talk to more people, you watch more of these topper videos, you read blogs, you talk to candidates who could not make it, and then you get a better idea that what are the kinds of sources you should be referring to and what are the kinds of sources you should be avoiding. So for example, let's say if I take economy, now someone might tell me in the initial stages that economic survey pura padho. But later I did read it, in fact, in my in 2019 and in 2018. But then I realized on my own that a summary would do a better job. That summary would be crisp points which I can use in mains answers, and it would save me almost 3 days. So there might not be any necessity to go through the entire economic survey. So some things you learn by committing the mistake, some things you learn by talking to other people, by reading about their experiences. But so this is something that you will never perfect. Even even if you get AIR1, you will always be unsure कि ये material करना है या नहीं करना है. It's just that your intuition will be much more fine-tuned than it was at the beginning of the preparation.
Okay, and like as we move further, because can you just highlight like any subject or maybe paper 2 where there are plethora of sources? So in paper 2, what would have been your strategy specifically with respect to polity and governance? Like how you could have concise that material and stick to limited number of source. So it would be helpful for so many aspirants, because I think over the period of time, those who appear in mains, they struggle in this paper, in polity and governance, despite being most of their efforts during entire preparation gets into these papers.
So the first important thing, especially for polity and governance and or the polity part, is that being very aware about the syllabus. So it's a very specific syllabus. I think that there are constitutional and statutory bodies. Since it's a topic in syllabus, which means that we can expect a question on one of the bodies. So that portion of Lakshmikant you have to do before the exam. But at the same time, this also means that you do not have to memorize word by word the other portions of Lakshmikant, and that is what becomes important, because in the limited time between pre and mains, we cannot be revising Lakshmikant multiple times. So for GS2, and in fact for all the GS, sir, my strategy was spending more and more time brainstorming on questions. So let's say I take up a random test series question paper. I see the question, I try to form a answer mentally. I think of points, I think of examples, case studies, best practices. I compare it to the model answer or to, let's say, some topper copy. And then I add to my learnings. So when I do this a lot, what happens is I start seeing patterns. I'll give an example. So let's say if now a question comes in exam, that what are the issues with a particular ABC constitutional body. So now I can say that there are general issues with constitutional bodies. That could be, let's say that some definition has not been defined in constitution. So this could be a particular generic point which can be used in exam. Let's say someone asks me that what are the issues with a international authority. So one of the points could be that there is a lack of consensus among multiple powers or different countries. So this is a point that is valid for a lot of international bodies, and I do not have to memorize it for each and every body. And this came to my mind after I did a lot of brainstorming. So the idea is that we start identifying those patterns and generic points, so that after our 3-4 specific points are over for a particular question, we are able to fill it with generic points.
All right, so you have talked about generic points. One thing I want to ask, that this paper, as you said, it like when we were talking about the time, you said quality as well as quantity. So another debate in this preparation is that the practicing as well as the memorization. So what, like apart from analysis, what is the role of memorization in the process, and how you recommend like how to memorize things? Because there are, like, it is not just simply, you cannot say that this exam does not require any fact. It requires a lot of facts to be memorized, and what is a better way to deal with them?
So I think this is something because of my brainstorming strategy, whatever. A lot of people have different names for it. Some people say practicing answer writing mentally or practicing answer forming, whatever we give the name, that is the essence of this. That let's say I read notes of GS2, I open up different test series papers, and I mentally form answers and I try to recall facts. So now usse ek idea lagega that am I able to recall facts or not? Let's say if I'm not able to recall facts at all, this means that revision mein problem hai. So I need to add another layer of revision. But let's say if I'm able to recall facts, but I'm not able to generate points. So that means that problem is in the answer forming end. So through this exercise, I will come to know where exactly is my weakness and where exactly I need to work upon. So let's say someone goes to write a test. So क्वेश्चन देख के दे नो दैट कभी पढ़ा है बट याद नहीं आ रहा है कि एग्जैक्टली क्या पढ़ा है. इसका मतलब द प्रॉब्लम इज इन मेमोराइजेशन एंड या फिर दे सी द क्वेश्चन एंड दे आर इमीडिएटली एबल टू जॉट डाउन ऑल द पॉइंट्स दे हैड मेमोराइज्ड and now they are at a loss of points. They are not able to think of more points. So in this case, your weakness is answer generation. So you need to focus more on practicing answer generation by taking all these test copies or by taking PYQs or by taking topper copies. So this is the basic idea, sir, that it is a continuous process. You memorize notes, you practice forming an answer. If you're not able to recall points, then you add to your revision layers. And if you're not able to generate points, then you practice more of answer generation.
Okay, so in a way, you have given a balanced approach here. Both the things are required, analysis as well as the facts memorization. What I certainly believe is that practice, is also required to draft an answer. So it is also a kind of an art which cannot be perfected without practicing.
Yes.
Like it requires practice. But sometimes what happens when we memorize certain things, that helps us to like act as a cue. Like cue is something which is a sign. By like memorizing the cues, you can remember other facts related to that particular aspect. For example, if we talk about this idea of equality and we know that there is Q, article number 14. The moment we remember article 14, then we can enter into the another zone. वहां से हम पॉइंट्स को गैदर करके अपने आंसर में यहाँ पे लिंक कर सकते हैं. So well said about this thing, memorization. Another thing is there, like in the preparation journey, which in earlier when I was talking with you, you mentioned about the social media as well. Like normally हम distraction से बचना चाहिए हमें, but how this social media during your preparation and post that has been useful in the preparation, because you always talk about the middle path, like balancing between the different things or different themes. तो यहाँ पर what has been the role preparation में भी और उसके अलावा भी otherwise?
So I think mostly preparation and otherwise have been very linked for the last 4 years of my life. So, and the general role has been that it keeps you connected, sir. It keeps you connected to everyone, not just UPSC circles and UPSC friends, but also to non-UPSC friends. And that I feel is extremely important for someone's mental health. To sustain your preparation for years, you cannot be completely disconnected. That is not advisable in my opinion. But at the same time, since we are talking about a middle path, we cannot be there on every social media website. We cannot be continuously there on social media, because otherwise we'll end up wasting a lot of time. So it's like identifying that sweet spot where you're able to talk to people, you're able to share strategies, you're able to do course correction on your end, where you feel good and where you can sustain a preparation, but at the same time not so much that you end up wasting time.
Okay, so it helps you alive and like kicking in the preparation. Definitely. Social media, if you're using it in a proper sense.
Yes.
Another thing is that when there's this paper of essay which is worth 250 marks in the exam hall, it needs your brain to be fresh. It needs your brain to be able to brainstorm over a single topic in a broadest possible manner. तो वहां पर you have to write 1000 to 1200 words, और वो 1200 words ऐसे होने चाहिए that you are able to convey what you feel about that topic, और उसको आप practical life से connect कर सको. तो anything specific जो ऐसे की preparation में which you have done and which you have yielded in a positive result for you?
So my essay marks, I think I would say, are slightly below average for top 100 rankers. But so I think I should focus more on the mistakes that I committed or I feel I committed, which other people can avoid. So what I did for essay was basically I practiced writing 5-6 essays. I practiced some frameworks at home, and I read a lot of topper copies about essay. But coming to the more important part, what mistake I could have done in the exam hall is that maybe my essay looked more like a long GS answer. So essay is something, sir, it's 1,000 words, and you have to keep the examiner engaged. It should not look like a data overloaded 10-page article. It's supposed to be something that engages the examiner in a very positive and exciting manner, so that the examiner feels that काफी कुछ अच्छे से कन्वे किया गया है एक बाइंडिंग तरीके से. So that is the single most important thing in an essay, I feel, that engagement factor. And that comes about when you are able to, let's say, balance the usage of facts, balance usage of ideas, where you do not go for too many dimensions. ऐसा नहीं लगना चाहिए कि सडनली एक डायमेंशन कर रहे थे एंड जस्ट बिकॉज एक हमने एल्गोरिथम बना रखा है कि नहीं 15 डायमेंशन तो होने ही चाहिए ऐसे में, तो सडनली वन डायमेंशन से दूसरे डायमेंशन जंप कर रहे हैं. When that smoothness is lost, I feel that people are penalized in essay. So it should be a free-flowing structure and not a patchwork of dimensions.
Exactly. This is what I feel. The moment, let's say, one is reading your essay, तो उसमें जो flow और coherence है, that should be there. Another thing which I feel कि which you said कि data overload नहीं होना चाहिए. What I feel, आप एक idea दो, along with that idea, try to substantiate with example or data, but do not overdo. Overdo means one or two facts or data you can use. बट अगर उसमें रिपीटेड फैक्ट्स होंगे तो एग्जामिनर विल बी लॉस्ट, तो वो उन डेटा को एनालाइज करने में रह जाएगा इंस्टेड ऑफ गेटिंग इनटू द फ्लो जो आप बात कहना चाहते हो. तो कॉन्वर्जेशन में अगर ऐसे इट्स लाइक अ कॉन्वर्जेशन वेयर यू जस्ट राइटिंग योर हार्ट आउट उस पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक पर, तो एग्जामिनर शुड फील कि आप क्या एक्सप्रेस करना चाहते हो. वहां पे जैसे सिलेबस में भी इट हैज बीन मेंशन्ड कि व्हाटएवर यू राइट इट शुड बी रिटन इन द एग्जैक्ट एक्सप्रेशन इन विच यू वांट टू मेंशन इट, और वो टॉपिक से एसोसिएटेड हो. कभी कभी डाइवर्जन भी एक इसमें एक मेजर फैक्टर है. तो ऐसे में आई थिंक इवन इफ लाइक व्हाटएवर यू हैव स्कोर्ड इट विल स्टिल बी हेल्पफुल फॉर दोज हु आर लाइक फाइंडिंग इट डिफिकल्ट टू स्कोर इन ऐसे, क्योंकि मिस्टेक्स भी एक इंट्रिंसिक पार्ट है इस प्रिपरेशन का. तो हैविंग टॉक्ड ऑफ मिस्टेक्स, व्हाट आर द मिस्टेक्स व्हिच यू फील कि मैंने पहले टर्म में या दूसरे टर्म में की है जो मुझे इंप्रूव करनी चाहिए थी, इवन दो यू हैव लाइक अचीव्ड इट, अब ये पेपर दोबारा देने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, बट स्टिल.
So first attempt में because prelims ही नहीं clear हुआ था, तो I think the one very obvious mistake which I felt was that I gave very less number of tests. Again, sir, this usually I add a disclaimer to this when I tell people is because my strategy then went for a complete 180 degree. I focused too much on tests because I told you like I gave almost 200 plus tests for 2020 prelims, and I don't think anyone would advise you such a high number. But somehow that strategy clicked for me, that I liked giving tests and I learned a lot through tests. Test का जैसे तो the scientific basis which is often said is active recall method, that instead of passive reading, if you force your brain to recollect facts, you remember them better. So that is the idea behind tests, and I like this idea, and I like the approach of giving more and more tests to learn a lot. This was the one mistake in first attempt. Second attempt, retrospectively, if I would have wanted to do some course correction, so I think one would be that between pre and mains, maybe I would have spent a little more time on maths, because on the day of exam, I felt that maths में वो smoothness नहीं आ पा रही है, थोड़ा बहुत practice lacking लगी थी. And the other aspect would be that I would cover PYQs extensively, which this is one loophole that I filled in May and June of 2021. That is for my third attempt. जब ये prelims फिर से postpone हुआ था sir, so I made sure that इस बार mains के लिए ये नहीं leave out करेंगे. So I covered the PYQs extensively.
All right. And what is the importance of NCRTs in the preparation?
Sir, for subjects like history and geography, I think NCRTs are extremely important because questions directly aate hain NCRTs se, and NCRTs have been written in an extremely detailed, extremely in-depth manner. Of course, a lot of them can be supplemented by coaching modules. And I think history mein to, the new NCRTs are recommended a lot, the themes in Indian history. For other subjects, NCRTs are like the initial reading. So I would not advise completely skipping. I would say even for subjects like polity and all, one reading of NCRT is definitely advisable. But after that, you can skip NCRT as a base. NCERT as a base is generally recommended for history and geography, as far as I understand. For other subjects, it's just a one reading, extract notes, and move on to the other sources.
All right. And one thing you have noticed, there's a lot of hype around current affairs. The moment you start the preparation and when you end the preparation gracefully. So current affairs is a challenge for many of us. And like not just because it is just the current affairs, but also because there are so many sources for current affairs. How do you find कि current affairs को कैसे manage किया जाए in the entire preparation?
Sir, I think, and a lot of it is retrospective and based on my second and third attempt experience, is that one can read newspaper throughout the year, and daily you can watch a daily news analysis video. So the combination of newspaper plus a DNA video is an extremely good approach to build up current affairs throughout the year. The other approach is that, let's say you read newspaper and you do monthly compilations. In the first approach, you are making your own notes. In the second approach, you are reading the newspaper and you're using the notes made by some coaching monthly. There are other approaches also, like some people might prefer to not do newspaper at all and just rely on compilations. So, sir, whatever approach suits a person, they should go forward with that approach. I would personally, I used to do only newspaper because I wasn't aware about these daily news analysis videos back then. And agar, like, if someone would have told me that these videos are so good that they tell you ki kya padna hai, kya nahi padna hai, I would definitely have watched those. So later on, I did find these videos, but by then I felt that I also have a good idea kya important hai, kya important nahi hai. So if you are starting right now, newspaper plus DNA video is a very good combination. Later on, you can drop that DNA video once you have an idea what is important, what is not important.
Okay. So like that is to say, you may not necessarily follow different platforms. जैसे राज्यसभा की डिबेट्स आती हैं तो बहुत सारी जगह वी कैन हैव दीज कंसोलिडेटेड मटेरियल रिगार्डिंग द करंट अफेयर्स एज वेल. या
Yes,
डीएनए
sir.
वीडियोस है वहां पर आपको मिल जाएगा न्यूज एनालिसिस के फॉर्म में.
Definitely, sir. Definitely.
All right. And you have mentioned about this prelims tests, more than 200 tests you have attempted. Coming to main examination, tests do play a role here as well. So what is the role of a test series, and how do you find कि test series मेरे लिए कब सूट करेगी? When should I write the tests? मुझे कब start करना चाहिए? When I'm a beginner, let's say I'm starting from this year only, and from the month of June I have started my preparation. तो मुझे test series को किस तरीके से लेना चाहिए for main examination?
So I started prep somewhere, let's say mid 2017, and despite that, I wrote my first test in 2019 October. So you can see, even for my first prelims, before first prelims, I hadn't written a single test. I had done very little answer writing. So basic advice regarding answer writing or tests is that syllabus should be covered thoroughly, at least 2 layers, because even with 1 layer, it's difficult to write answers. There is this one line that one of my teachers said: the purpose is to do answer writing and not creative writing, which means that given a question, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए that पूरे ही points आप on the spot generate कर रहे हैं using your creativity. It should be a mix that at least 50-60% of the points you are recalling from memory, the remaining 40% points you are generating, that is acceptable. But sometimes what happens is अगर revision बहुत कम हुआ है, so 90% of the points you are generating then and there, so it becomes a very generic answer. So then it ends up being an exercise of your physical stamina of your hand कि 7 मिनट में लिख सकते हैं या नहीं. But when it is supposed to be an exercise of mind as well as hand.
Okay, again, like I appreciate that when you have a question in front of you, you have this tendency of balancing the acts. Here you have balance between the creative writing and the other only rote writing. So you have utilized your teacher's thing and formed it as if answer writing is the mix of both. So there has to have a proper mix from your memory recalling and from your creativity, which definitely, because not everything in like which has been asked in the question can be done just by recalling. You have to mold
Yes,
the
sir.
content.
Yes, sir.
Again, so this is what I am finding interesting in your entire like conversation. You have this idea. So this idea of like balancing between two different things, and getting out or trying to find out the balancing way,
Sir.
like how this has been developed, anything specific to it?
I think, sir, we learn from our own mistakes of others. Because one thing, just like I told you in the beginning, that feeling of being lost was there a lot. So I had this habit of watching a lot of topper talks, reading a lot of blogs of these selected candidates, and talking to many people, even ones who could not clear. I have this belief that if by talking to someone, or if by watching a 20-minute topper video, if you can avoid a mistake that will cost you, let's say, 100 hours, then it's definitely worth it. It's basically you don't commit the mistakes which others committed. That is the entire thing. Or you learn from your own mistakes. So everything that has been fine tuned has come either because I made a mistake or because I learned from someone else's mistake. And that is how approach should be towards preparation and towards life in general, that you learn from your mistakes and you try to make as few mistakes as possible if you can.
Like very well said. I think this is what that's how you show the gratitude, because what you have learned from others, usko bhi you can enter into your preparation, add to your preparation, or therefrom you can improve your preparation. Apart from like just involving that, you can acknowledge that. So I think Arth, यहाँ पर भी I can find that there is this element, uh, it genuinely exists in your personality, where you know what you're saying and how you're balancing the different things. Now, the thing which I want to ask you, that now you're the topper, you're our topper, and everybody likes to like learn from topper their experience. How in the entire journey, the Civil Study ecosystem, because Civil Study is not just a platform which is visible there on the online, it is just the tip of the iceberg. Apart from that, there are so many things which are open to everyone. There are like free mentorship available, there are courses, and so many things are there in the Civil Study platform. How your association with Civil Study helped you in the journey, and like in what ways Civil Study could help you throughout?
So I think my direct engagement with the Civils Daily was in the form of the mock interview course, or the mock interview I took with Civils Daily. When I was preparing for interview, I had signed up with many coaching, and Civils Daily was one of them. The experience was extremely helpful, and not just with Civils Daily. I think most of the coachings I took for interview preparation, they were extremely helpful, and so was Civils Daily. So this was one of the courses I was associated with. And second, sir, Civils Daily is unique in the sense that it is one of the few coachings which has detailed solutions to a lot of previous year questions. And surprisingly, sir, whether it is for prelims or mains, not a lot of coachings have detailed solutions. At least for prelims, a lot of websites do, but for mains, not many websites have. So every time I would type some PYQ question into the search bar, Civils Daily website would be one of the first websites that would pop up. So I think last 2 years when I've been doing PYQs, when I've been searching a lot of PYQs, so Civils Daily has repeatedly come up. So if someone tells me Civils Daily, this is the first thing that will come into my mind, PYQ wali website.
Okay, so there's this like very, I think you have raised a very valid point. The role of PYQ is essential in the preparation. And even when you're defining your own process, कि मेरे लिए क्या काम करेगा, two things which I feel like they help you as a guiding light, even if you have nothing at your hand. Number one is the syllabus of UPSC. Number two is the PYQ. वहां से आपको पता चलता रहेगा आपको क्या करना है, किस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस बन सकते हैं, बोथ इन प्री एंड मेन. और अगर मेन के केस में इफ यू आर एबल टू गेट इट, कि कहीं से मुझे आंसर्स मिल जाए प्रिपेयर्ड हुए हुए, इट विल बी लाइक अ लॉट ऑफ बेनिफिट फॉर ऑल लॉट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स, क्योंकि आपको पता रहेगा कि आपको किस डायरेक्शन में, व्हाट शुड बी योर थॉट प्रोसेस, आपकी अप्रोच कैसी होगी इन दैट पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन. तो आई थिंक सिविल सीरी नोज इट जेन्युइनली कि कहाँ पर पीवाईक्यू को यूज किया जा सकता है. थैंकफुली यू हैव रेज दिस पॉइंट. इस पॉइंट से आई वुड लाइक टू ऐड कि अगर आप अभी भी प्रिपरेशन स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं, इफ यू आर लाइक एस्पिरेंट हु इज बिगिनिंग, then like please do not ignore PYQ at any cost. PYQ should be integral part of your preparation. हो सके तो दिन में या 2-3 दिन में whatever topic you're reading, you just refer to them. Even if you have into this preparation journey कुछ टाइम भी हो चुका है, mature भी हो चुके हैं, even then PYQ का कोई alternative नहीं है, उसको आपको करना ही पड़ेगा. तो ये in general like these are the major points. अब इस conversation को conclude करने के लिए I would like to ask something फ्रॉम अर्थ कि ओवरऑल जो भी एक्सपीरियंस है उससे व्हाट यू कैन लाइक एक्सट्रैक्ट आउट, व्हाट इज द मेजर क्रक्स यू कैन शेयर विद द एस्पिरेंट्स, तो वो उनके लिए एज वर्ड्स ऑफ विजडम में कन्वर्ट हो सके.
difficult to summarize, sir, 4 years of preparation into 4 lines. But I think the basic idea is that whatever anxiety, whatever doubts you have, as a new aspirant have, we had the exact same doubt. So please do not feel that you are odd one out or you're doing something wrong. I would say that let it be a continuous learning experience that you watch, especially if you're beginning right now, watch a lot of topper talks, read up many articles on how preparation is to be done, because the ultimate idea is about having clarity what to do. After you're clear about what to do, the next part, like I said, in time management and all, that you will eventually figure out. But अगर पहले ही stage पे वो cloudy है थोड़ा mind में, so it becomes difficult. So have that clarity early on that let's say optional यही पक्का चुनना है, optional की यही coaching है जो अच्छी है, optional में ऐसे ऐसे time division किया जाता है, आंसर राइटिंग इस स्टेज पे स्टार्ट करनी है. अगर ये सब माइंड में जो कॉमन फियर्स एंड कॉमन डाउट्स हैं, इफ दे आर आंसर्ड अर्ली ऑन इन द प्रिपरेशन, then your preparation becomes much smoother. Not absolutely smooth, थोड़ा तो रहता ही है, but much smoother than what it would otherwise be. That is all. And sir, one line which I keep saying is that it's a competitive exam, so we are not here to beat the exam, we are here to beat the competition. So fighting spirit हमेशा alive रहनी चाहिए.
Very well said. I think you have summarized it pretty well. Or जरूर भी है, because what you say or what somebody with credibility like they say, it helps other people to gauge their preparation or to like handle their competition. So I think we are towards the end of this interaction, and it's been a very pleasurable talk with you. And what I believe is that this is not all you have. You have a lot more to train or to share your experience with other aspirants. So I would love that you, in case if we are able to have some future talks, so we can talk about
Sure, sir.
individual subjects like GS1, GS2, GS3, where we can talk about like subject specific or maybe the topic specific strategy from you, because I think you are very much like to the point when it comes to preparation and strategy, and where I liked your clarity. Apart from that, your way, the way in which you balance things, like clarity, all the toppers have the clarity, but beyond that, the way you try to balance between the things is another thing which I really appreciate, and which I feel like if you have the balancing act, it will be reflected in your answers and essays, and at the later stage when you're in your like personality test, it will be gauged by the examiners. So it was a very healthy discussion,
Sir.
and insightful one. And so with this, I think we are towards the end. Anything you want to conclude with?
I think, sir, it has been an extremely good experience with Civils Daily, and I hope whatever I said in the last half an hour could be of help to some aspirant, just like a lot of topper videos have been extremely helpful to me. And I wish that one of you who's listening is here to deliver a talk 1 year down the line or 2 years down the line.
Brilliant. So everyone, this was an interaction with Archan, All India rank 16 in the UPSC 2020. So I wish him luck so that he can like utilize his full potential for the services. And thank you, Arth, for the entire session.
Thank you, sir.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update from Civils Daily.